Carlee. We're going to address the Breakfast Club, too. We're going to bring them to the front of the congregation also. Carla Russell apologized through her lawyer. Rita got it. Temptations. Toy winner. Relentless. Somebody said the 5 heartbeats. Nope, it's the Temptations. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Hold on, let me take my shoes off real quick. Hold on. My man Leon walked up to him. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Shout out to David Ruffin. My name is David Ruffin, and these are the Temptations. All right. Let's get back to the show. I don't want to get distracted because you know that it don't take much to throw me off track. I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. Thank you for everybody that's contributed into the platform. Make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you subscribe to the Patreon. The link is in the description for you to do so. Fleece Johnson interview is going up very, very shortly. It's uploading right now. And then make sure you get that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Let's get into the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon. I'm Captain Keith Sescaliba with the Hoover Police Department. We're here today to provide an update in the Carlee Russell investigation. Chief Nick Durzis will read a prepared statement that will provide an update in this case. After reading the statement, we will have time for a few questions related to the case. Keep in mind, this is still an ongoing investigation, and there are some questions we simply cannot answer at this point. With that, I'll turn it over to Chief Durzis.
Thank you, Captain.
Hey. I know the Chief be fresh every day. He said, I'm going to have a purple suit on. That's the last time that he did his thing. Let me see what he got on. Okay, Chief. Hey, Chief got his hair done. He got his beard shaved. He got his suit. His tie is matching. His shirt is white. And he's going to get his moment.
Good afternoon. Thanks to everyone.
Where the Chief from? Oakland? Is the Chief from Oakland? Is he from Detroit? He probably got some fucking Gators on too, don't he?
For attending again today. I want to thank the members of our department and all of law enforcement who played a role in the investigation of this case. Last Wednesday, July 19th, we held a press conference and provided you with the facts of the Carlee Russell disappearance. We told you the investigation was ongoing, and we helped you determine where Carlee was during the 49 hours of her disappearance. Today I've talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emery Anthony, attorney for Carlee Russell.
I will say this. I know we all was calling for Carlee Russell to come to the front of the congregation and say what it is that she want to say. I will give her this. Of all the things that she did, the one thing that she didn't do is put herself in harm's way, but instead she decided to speak to an attorney. Now, her father and her mother was out here crashing the fuck out. Her boyfriend is out here tweeting and looking dumb as fuck. So all of the people that's around her that's then got the batteries in their back to do the fuck with whatever it is they're doing. But the one thing I will say about her is that she did not jump out here and jump off the fucking cliff. She did not respond to my DM or whoever else's DMs that sent her a DM and said that they wanted to be a part of, have a conversation. She did the one thing that a lot of you motherfuckers have a hard time doing, and it's shutting the fuck up. She did the one thing that a lot of y'all, every time the police come and talk to y'all start spilling your beans, and y'all act like y'all don't understand that you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. And y'all act like y'all don't know y'all Miranda rights. The one thing, she is not out here over talking. She's not taking questions. She sent a fucking letter through an attorney. That's the one thing that I will give her. I will give her that.
Mr. Anthony has scheduled a meeting for Carlee to meet with investigators early this afternoon, but then I received an email stating that a statement was being provided by him on her behalf.
See that?
Mr. Anthony asked that I read the statement entirely, which I will do now. My client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023.
Now, I'll give her a second thing. My second thing that I'm going to give her on her behalf is that, unlike Jussie Smollett, eventually she said, you know what? I lied. Got me. Woo. She said, I lied. The second thing I'm going to give her is that she didn't just let the lie continue to proliferate. Even though she let it go too long, she should have never did it in the first place. She still need to pay for the consequences and the fines and the resources that it took from a tax perspective and all of your government officials to investigate this in the first place. But she did come back and say, you know what? Got me. Guilty. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Temptations for life. She came back to the front of the congregation and she said, you know what? You got me.
My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident, but this was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone from the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family.
She need to apologize to every single person that was out there combing the fucking streets, walking through high grass, getting mosquito bites, trying to figure out where she was at while she was over there eating Cheez-Its and granola bars. She needs to apologize to them. Those are the main people that she need to go and bring herself to the front of the congregation for, because I would be pissed. I would be pissed if I was walking around in fucking Alabama on one of the hottest days of the year, searching for her, and she not even missing. She over there eating her milk and cookies. Talking about a white baby.
We ask for your prayers for Carlee
Shout
as
out
she
to
addresses
Jeremy.
her issues and attempts to move
Reading
forward,
that super chat shortly.
understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again, asks for your forgiveness and prayers. We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony
What
to
we
further
praying
discuss this case. We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office
not
in
putting the
Bessemer
white baby up.
about possible criminal charges related to this case, and we will announce those charges when and if they are filed.
Whoa. Let me back up for a minute. Hold on.
And we will announce those charges. Carlee, again, asks for your forgiveness and prayers. We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this case. We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office in Bessemer about possible criminal charges related to this case, and we will announce those charges when and if they are filed.
They are not fucking around down there in Alabama. Should we all move down to Alabama and take that bitch over and make it an oasis for us over here at the Bag Chasers? Alabama said, we gonna hold you accountable. We are not gonna be sitting here having no conversation with you about you apologize. We get it. We accept your apology. We forgive you, and you gonna pay the fucking consequences. They are not fucking around in Alabama. They said, we negotiating with the attorney for possible charges. Ooh, he said, I got my pimp suit up, pimps up, hoes down, and we gonna discuss this. They said, we not letting this go. We are not letting this go. Oh my fucking God. Okay, get it, pimps up.
All right, with that, we'll take a few questions. As Officer Hale said, when I call on you, please state your name.
Let me see what he gonna say.
Yes, sir.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610, 100.1 FM Summit Media. Chief, do we at this time, or does the Hoover Police Department know the whereabouts of Carlee Russell during that 49-hour period that she was supposedly missing?
Now, as I said the other day, was talking facts and everything. If I said anything today, would just be speculation. Actual facts, we do not.
All right, so now that we know that Alabama ain't fucking around, all right, Alabama not messing around with you hoes out here. So if y'all gonna be out here finessing dudes, don't do it in Alabama. Go to the other A. Go to Atlanta, not Alabama. Alabama is not messing around. Shout out to Jacquel. Shout out to all of the super chats I'm gonna be reading those shortly. Alabama not playing no games with y'all. Now that we know that she apologized through her lawyer and that Alabama is not fucking around, ironically enough, the Breakfast Club had some thoughts about this. The Breakfast Club has some thoughts about this. All right. So I want to quickly get their perspective. Let me see if I can speed this up. Cause you know they be trying to disrupt my stream when I stream and replay what was being communicated on the Breakfast Club. So let me see if I can fast forward it a bit. Oh my God, not the hyena herself, Tezlyn Figueroa. Now, you know they had to bring out the number one hyena in order to be able to discuss this case. Now, let me shoot her some bell and say that I have no clue what it is that she's going to say as a result. So let me just hear it. I'm going to be objective about what's being communicated. I did not know that she was going to be the one that's discussing this thing with DJ Envy and Charlamagne, but I can pretty much guess what the fuck is going to be conversated about right now. How come these people just won't disappear? Why are we sitting here listening to this shit? I thought that she was a political correspondent. Why is she discussing what's going on with Carlee Russell? Oh my God. If it's not the number one hyena, man, this chick probably gonna finesse her way into getting a starting spot and becoming a co-host on the Breakfast Club. Let me see if I can fast forward through this.
Student Carlee Russell, who told police that she was abducted, admitted Monday through a statement from her lawyer that she was not kidnapped. A massive search for Russell began on July 13th after she called 911 and reported seeing a toddler on the side of the road.
Police Department and other agencies as
on us for doing absolutely positive. It was effed up what she did. It was effed up that she lied. And I hate to compare, but I've seen so many Karens that called the police on us for doing absolutely positively nothing, and nothing happens to them. And we could have got killed. We could have got shot. We could have got stabbed. We could have been choked out in a police chase, and nothing happens to them. So it's difficult to say something should happen to her because we see it.
If it ain't DJ MV out here simping and pimping on y'all listeners and these women. If it ain't DJ Envy running in the Victim Olympics, can't wait to put his cape on and go against white people, and specifically white women. This don't have nothing to do with white people. What does a woman calling the police on a suspect that then is proven to be innocent have to fucking do with you making up a whole story about seeing a white baby and getting kidnapped and disappearing for 49 hours and then lying to the general public and then being held accountable for your actions? What does this have to do with the price of potatoes in China? The goal is to make sure that we hold everybody accountable, including women, for the decisions that they make on a regular basis. Let me let this play out for a second. I'm going to let this play out. I want to hear some of the stuff that they talk
all
about.
The time.
Well, there's been precedent set. I mean, there was a young woman in California. I can't remember her name right now, but I think she's currently doing 18 months for faking a kidnapping. This was a couple years ago. So, I mean, there's precedents for cases like this.
And I mean, even if we look at the precedents with Jussie Smollett, obviously everybody's comparing that. You see all the memes on Twitter. And just to kind of refresh what happened with him when they found out that was also a hoax, he faced 6 counts of disorderly conduct. He also, for falsifying a police report, literally calling in the 911, that is against the law. So he has.
So Charlamagne comes through in a clutch. And he said, well, there is a precedence that has been set because there was a woman out in California that had to do 18 months, 18 years. And at the end of that sentence, he found out it wasn't his. She gives me money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a trifling. Oh, she's a gold digger. Way over town. She gives me money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a trifling. Oh, she's a gold digger. Way over town. Yeah. She gives money when I'm in need. Charlamagne said that there has been a precedent that has been set. So no running in the Victim Olympics. No running in the Victim Olympics. No running in the Victim Olympics.
Several felonies with that. He also had to pay a fine for those resources that were used to investigate that. He ended up having to pay $120,000 for restitution. And so they're definitely, like Charlamagne, I think you had pointed out when we first talked about this story, that we do live in America. And you rest assured, even though it may not be fair, to DJ Envy's point, I can certainly see she's going to get.
Why does DJ Envy need a fair point? I don't understand what it has to. What do you mean it might not be fair for DJ Envy point? What does DJ Envy's point emphasize? That we should then let her go and that we shouldn't file charges because there's other women that had got away with it? No. And we're not going to use, and I think that is racist. Let me say that right now. I think it's racist for us to label people a Karen. Because if a white person come through and they say, well, Tyrone, y'all gonna be acting all bitter and uptight and y'all gonna be feeling a certain type of way. So we gonna keep that same energy across the board. We got over 2,100 people in here and climbing. I need y'all to hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's continue.
Some type of charge, at least at bare minimum, a misdemeanor.
Yeah. Oh, Sherry Papini, that was her name. She was a California mother who faked her own kidnapping in 2016, and she got sentenced to a year and a half. And she's most definitely white.
Yeah, but what about the white lady that the guy, the black brother was watching the birds in Central Park, and she called the police and said that he did a crime. What happened to her? Did she get any time for that, or did that just slide?
I feel like apples and oranges. Am I tripping, Lauren?
I see what point he's trying to get to. I just feel like we know the world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's.
What is the world that we live in? I'm curious. What is the world that we live in, and that we're trying to use anecdotal evidence in order to justify the fact that the woman is lied and she needs to be held accountable for her actions? I don't really understand what a disagreement is. What is the problem here? Why can't we take it on an individual basis? Each case is its own precedent and it needs to be set on an individual basis. If the woman lied, then she needs to be held accountable for her actions. I don't really understand what the problem is here. Why are we then using anecdotal evidence in order to try to justify whether or not we're going to hold somebody accountable? Why is that an issue? Why is that an issue? If she did the crime, then you hold her accountable. What the fuck did this have to do with the price of potatoes in China? She literally admitted that she lied. This is not a case where we're trying to figure out whether or not it's guilty or innocent. Everybody and their mama knew that she was lying. I can't stand people that cape. Why cape? What is the point? Did his wife put him up to it? I don't understand. What is the point of this caping? What is the point of him caping on her behalf, and how does this benefit him in any way, shape, or form?
it's just different for us. So we the comparison doesn't even matter because what's going to
yeah,
happen to her is
America.
going to happen. We know the world we live in, and like it's annoying to see people saying like this is going to make people stop caring about black girls that go missing because the care wasn't there in the first place. So this isn't going to change anything.
That's
You
all.
know?
And now they running in the Victim Olympics. Now they're running in the Victim Olympics. Now, you know, they never cared about us in the first place. Well, if they never cared about you in the first place, then why do we have the whole fucking world stop in order to look for you and search for you when we knew that you was lying in the first place? You know, I don't like this. And this is the argument that I was having last night on the platform. I don't like it. I don't like it. Ladies, I keep telling y'all that you guys are the ones that are going to suffer as a result of all of this dumb shit that we keep having a conversation about. It's not going to be guys because men have we've always understood that there is no safety net for us. But you guys are the ones that's going to suffer as a result of keep removing the accountability. The minute that you start to hold her accountable is the minute that you start getting a situation where we then can start taking you serious. But I don't believe any woman. And it's not my fault. It's society's fault. It's Carlee Russell's fault. It's DJ Envy's fault. It's Tez's fault. By default, when a woman says that something happened to her, because I know that women are finessing on a regular basis. I do review videos every day on my other channel when I drop them on there and I show y'all how women are finessing men. I, by default, do not believe. I had a panel conversation one time where a group of women admitted to the panel openly that women lie and that they finesse, especially when it comes to cheating in relationships, more than men. That they finesse and they get everything that they possibly can out of it. So by default, why should we believe you, or why should we put ourselves at the front of the congregation in order to try to substantiate whether or not you lying or not? If we know that we gonna catch the shrapnel as a result of it, we gonna suffer as a result of it. Why should we? And how does this come back to race? I don't get it.
So
And
it's embarrassing though. I can say that. It's embarrassing.
I can see why you feel that way, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to get caught up in Carlee Russell as an individual. She lied. You know, this we all know. But like you just said, Lauren, the epidemic of missing black women and children in this country is very real. So this story isn't going to stop me from continuing to amplify those other stories. And I still believe it was some kind of social engineering going on with this, because why out of all the stories about missing black women and children, just our luck, the one that's a lie is the one everybody latched on to and amplified?
I think it's
Want me to tell you why? Because there's a lot of women that's lying out here in these fucking streets. And you just so happen to catch one in the wild. Hey, y'all ever heard of like when you like, I don't know if y'all ever been hunting before, but I've been hunting before. I went rabbit hunting. Let's go hunt us some rabbits. Let's go get us some rabbits. And I had a shotgun. And it was more difficult than I'd realized it was the first time that I ever did it, because we had to get permission to go over on a specific man's property, and it was cold or whatever, and the conditions wasn't right. And then the next time I went deer hunting. And it seemed like every single time that I ever went deer hunting, right, I've always seen deer crossing the road, but it was really very rare for me to actually see one in the wild that I was able to shoot. But when you finally see one, when you finally catch one, you realize that it wasn't as difficult as you thought it was. You just wasn't familiar with their patterns. So now that we're able to track them more effectively, now that we have the tools, now that we're informed, and now that we have more visibility into what the fuck y'all doing, because y'all don't mind going on the internet and exposing yourselves on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, now it's easier for us to be able to spot the patterns. So now that I've been on YouTube and I'm familiar with a lot of this bullshit that y'all doing, because my inner circle don't operate like this, I was able to immediately pick it up. As soon as I heard the story, I said, oh, this is some bullshit. This is absolutely bullshit. There is no conspiracy theory. Carlee Russell of Alabama was not anybody that anybody was paying attention to so that they can do a setup or conspiracy theory in order to make sure that we no longer believe black women. What the fuck are you talking about? A conspiracy theory with a woman that got kicked out of medical school, was getting fucked on, got mad at a stripper, made up a situation about a white baby, called 911. Nobody else on the highway seen it. Talked about Orange Man with a balding spot that looked like President Trump and an 18-wheeler that was torturing her and feeding her Cheez-Its. And then she get to walk back home, and then her parents jump on NBC Live. Yeah, it's a conspiracy theory. Yeah, we did all of that. We planned that so that we can make sure that we can continue to not believe women. What about all of the men that's getting released out of prison every single day, being proven through the Innocence Project that they didn't commit the crime that they was accused of by the women that accused them, that's not being held accountable, but we still want to talk about advocating. We will advocate for the people that are free that's not being held accountable, but we won't advocate about the men that are locked up in prison every single day that was falsely accused. Are these guys still trying to make up to their women or their wives for the egregious shit that they did and got caught up in or something like that? And so they on these platforms throwing men under the bus? Is it a collective of men that have a microphone in front of them that is afraid to say, or they're afraid to lose a specific part of the audience, and so they choose to say some of the dumbest, most egregious shit? It is very cut and dry. This is one of those cases. Open, close. The investigators couldn't wait to be able to get their hands on this one. They said, oh, Bob, we got us one here. We got us one here, buddy. If you couldn't tell that this chick was lying from the outset, from the fact that she said that she saw a white baby walking down the street, then you are fucking crazy. You have no situational awareness. You shouldn't even have a microphone in front of you in the first place. Let's see if they got anything else to add into this conversation.
Because of all of the things that surrounded it, like it was kind of like a movie. There's like a kid on the side of the road, and the girl goes missing, and she's on the phone, and you hear scream. It's like the internet loves that type of stuff.
Yeah, that too. But just bottom line, but I'm just gonna be honest with you. And I think I mentioned this to you before, Charlamagne. Yeah, it did sound movie-like, but at the end of the day, we have to talk about classism within the Black community. And her story got bumped up with a lot of us behind the scenes on the news side. And so when you have a story like her saying, okay, great, a lot of people saw themselves as her. College student, AKA come from a well-to-do family, a middle-class family. That looked like, oh, that could be one of us. Yep. And so when I worked the rape case for the Oklahoma City House Call for rape victims, the 13 black women that were raped by a police officer, we did not get that support in the media. So I have to throw that.
No matter what, it always comes back to you, the victim. You lie, you the victim. You the victim, you the victim. You fuck over the tax dollars. Oh, wait a minute. It's still you, the victim. I was still waiting for somebody to say, I'm sure if I'd have continued to play this, that at some point they would have said it's all black men's fault. At some point they would have said, because it's black men's fault, we need to hold them accountable for her lying. I'm still waiting on somebody, and I'm sure if I would have played it long enough that they would have told me that it was somehow, some way, our fault. She got her Instagram followers up. She never actually said anything. She went through a lawyer. Her parents are the ones that got thrown under the bus. Her boyfriend is out here simping. You got DJ Envy talking about his white women's fault. Charlamagne the God said it's black women that need to be advocated for. Tez on there saying that all of the other victims, because it's a classism thing. And then the other little chick that was over there was saying that we still need to advocate for. What the fuck? What about the people that was victims? What about the motherfuckers that got mosquito bites in the woods as a result of searching for this hoe and this mythical baby that never existed in the first place?